Hello, everyone, and welcome to Classifying Europe, a topic that I'm so sure is not going to get me killed in the comments section, but who cares? So, let's begin with Northern Europe. Now, Northern Europe, I'd say historically, is marked by having that in a colder climate that limited the density of population and slow down the later development of industrialization, in which led, however, it was a region marked by generally, I'd say, a higher image of prosperity and quality of life, because, well, I mean, most of these Nordic countries are quite well known for having that higher standard of living because, like, it's Norway, it's Sweden, it's Denmark, it's Iceland. They have long nights. I don't know if I could survive there, but they're fun. Moving on to Western Europe, which I kind of messily defined on the regions that are known for being more heavily industrialized, especially in the mid 20th, in the early 20th century, late 19th century. So, like England, I'd say northern France carries that same energy, and then as well as Germany, the Benelux region, and Switzerland. Those all carry those same higher work ethic values, usually have that higher concentration of industry, and we're able to have that higher population density and higher productive output overall. So yeah, I wouldn't consider this a very controversial section. In it, although often I'd say disagree with what at least Americans are taught, trying to put England with the Scandinavians. However, I'm sorry. The English welfare system or British welfare system does not function as well as it should to be compared to those majestic nations. Anyways, on to Southern Europe, the the quote unquote lazy people, if you may, marked by the warm temperatures that make you not want to do much besides eat rice or pasta. They generally have a wetter, uh, yeah, climate that is influenced by being surrounded by water on the ends for most of these countries, is with the Black Sea, Mediterranean, and Atlantic all convening on them, leading them to all have very well, I guess except for Bulgaria and Romania, very warm climates. Which is why I feel like you could also just call this the Mediterranean. And at least my experience with the silly little American textbooks, they all just call, well, Iberia, Italy, and Greece Mediterranean countries. Although, I feel like we have to put in the east coast of what used to be Yugoslavia in there as well, at the very least, to make it Southern Europe. Anyways, so that probably didn't get me too shamed. And then the Balkans is pretty self explanatory. It's a region that is, at least today, marked by higher levels of corruption along and also falls within the Balkan Peninsula. It was historically a region that was fought over and split between that of the Turks, the Rus, and the Austrians, which led to them being having lots of different cultural influences. Is both with strong Orthodox, Ox some Catholic, and then and Muslim influences that heavily shaped how their cultures developed. Going on to Eastern Europe, which I mostly defined as regions that have historically been contested or controlled by Russia, or otherwise have had issues with Russia. So Poland, in Romania, the Balkans, Belarus, Ukraine, in all of which countries that, well, I guess except for Belarus, that are trying to do better. And then we also have a few outliers, namely Hungary, because at least with Orban, it would be odd not to fit them all together. And in case you haven't noticed, yes, I am putting some countries in multiple regions or splitting countries up if I feel like one region is different enough from another region in order to not be fitting of the same region. Cough, fans cough. So anyways, yeah. I would consider that fairly, again, non-controversial. The only however, this is probably what's going to get me flamed. Central Europe. Now, I personally define this as mostly being built around the core of the Holy Roman Empire, minus Germany and the Habsburg Austrian Empire, with Poland included as well, because as although they are most definitely in the east and have that stronger Eastern Orthodox influence, they have such a strong connection in as being part of the crossroads between the East and the West, alongside the predominantly Catholic or Protestant and Catholic regions of Austria and Austria and what used to be Czechoslovakia, and then Austria-Hungary. So Hungary is in there as well. Pretty self-explanatory. And then yeah, I think that's it. So this is some random funny dude on the internet. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. And hopefully I make a video that won't get me rioted against by at least some people in Europe.